Right, so I like to say Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. So the reason why I'm bringing up what I brought up in the last video about the Spartans, right? Because the scriptures tell you, Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Well, guess what? The plowshare is a working tool that you use on a farm, which means if they're beating their plowshares into swords, guess what? Who handles those swords? The soldiers. Well, if they don't have plowshares no more, that means the people that was doing the plowsharing are now an army. So if you think about like the 300, right? You had the Spartans and you had the men that was in Athens. Well, the men that was in Athens wasn't like the Spartans. The Spartans were warriors, right? Ahoo, ahoo, ahoo. What is your profession, right? But when Leonidas asked the dude what they were, hey, them motherfuckers was potters, man. They were party at a bunch of skinny looking, cracked out dudes. Like they was potters, man. They were potters, right? They was carpenters. they was building homes and shit. And they was yo, they weren't worried about no war, man. They weren't worried about no war. They had a bunch of men like American men. That's who they had. Bunch of American ass niggas, right? Just ain't worried about nothing but the job. Not knowing that your ass is about to get invaded by the Persians, right? This man Xerxes is going about taking all type of land and taking people armies and killing kings, and y'all a bunch of damn potters. But potters gonna be turned into warriors, man. That's what's gonna happen. So the same thing in America is gonna happen. A lot of you comfortable ass niggas that just sitting around. And guess what, man? I wouldn't be surprised if Esau went and gathered up a bunch of you niggas in Chicago and New Orleans and threw you niggas out there and said fight. Had you nowhere near around the U.S. Army, just threw a bunch of you niggas out there and just said survive. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did, man. But in these days coming, people gonna get drafted, man, because a lot of soldiers are gonna be wiped out. You gotta understand, because I was talking to somebody at my job, and he was like, oh yeah, the Russians, man, they getting beat by the Ukrainians. And I said, no, they not, man. I said, if you think about it, I said, this is reports we're getting from the U.S. Like, the U.S. they're not really truthful a lot of times about their, reports. But we talking about Russia, man. Russia, they have some advanced military grade gear that they are not using in Ukraine. And you have to ask yourself that. You got to think about it. The military grade weapons that Ukraine is using is military grade weapons that the US wanted to test out. So they sent them the Javelin and all of these drones and other weapons to test them out to see what they would do in battle. You got to understand, man, Russia ain't pulling out they not pulling all their cards out on Ukraine, man. That's not happening. They not pulling all their cards out on Ukraine. The reports we getting from the U.S., man, I don't trust none of that shit. CNN, CNBC, none of that shit. I don't trust none of that. All that shit be lies, man. There's videos out right now of them all speaking the same shit. ABC, CNN, 7 o'clock news, they all speak the same shit. They all read from the same report, right? That their higher ups give to them. And guess who owns that shit? The small hats do. So I don't want to hear anything that them motherfuckers got to say. That's why I personally, and brothers in this truth, we stick to alternate news. We don't trust nothing that they got to say. We know emphatically that Russia ain't losing no damn war out in Ukraine, man. You don't know what the hell is going on in Ukraine unless you got a plane ticket. You took your ass out there and you find out what's really going on in Russia and Ukraine, man. But right now we sticking with the fact that Russia have got some military gear that they are not using. They got military equipment that they are not using, and they not gonna use until the upcoming war with NATO, man. That's what's gonna happen. And the military grade weapons that they're gonna use with NATO is gonna be wiping out a lot of you fucking Americans, man. That's why they're gonna need to draft a lot of you motherfuckers, because when these missiles and all this technology that they have start really coming into an effect, it's gonna be deep, man. It's gonna get real quick crazy. But a lot of you hard working ass people gonna be in war. A lot of you people who think that you couldn't believe or ever think to be in war gonna be in war. So again, Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. And their wickedness is great. And the scriptures tell you, for the wickedness of the earth is exceedingly great, man. That's what the scriptures tell you, man. So let's go back to this Jeremiah 50. So Jeremiah 50 and where we stopped off at. Verse 9. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert men. None shall return in vain, and none is going to return in vain, man. The Lord, all of this technology that these nations have now, man, you don't really see missiles that's going to be going offline like that. You know, there's not going to be no Magneto standing in America, and all the missiles that's coming to America, Magneto just going to stop. And then you're going to have Apocalypse come into play, controlling fucking all the missiles to go into the space. That's not gonna happen, man. These missiles, when they come down, they're gonna come down and they're gonna hit their marked targets, man. They're gonna hit their marked targets. So let me grab this. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. It says, for strong as his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. So they're not going to miss. These arrows are going to be flying like that movie Robin Hood, man, when Jamie Foxx was shooting them arrows, man. The man wasn't missing, man. The man wasn't missing. He was a well-trained arrow shooter in that movie, man. And this is what's going to be about with those with the missiles, man. The missiles gonna hit their targets. The scripture says they shall leap over walls, they shall go into the windows, right? They're gonna be a fire behind thee, man. So what's coming, man? What's coming is gonna be devastating to you people, man, because I believe that it wouldn't have possibly happened to you. You gotta understand, man. You know, I'm gonna give this reason, but ultimately we know this is of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But if America was on the other side of the continent, it will already be at war. It will already, because you'll be easy to get to, right? You'll be easy to get to. But the Lord put your ass over here for a reason, man. So it would be this difficult to get to you. But guess what? It's prophesied. This is why the scripture says, from the arrows that they shoot shall be sharp and shall not miss. These arrows are going to fly over the continent to blow this place off the face of the earth. And the Lord have it like that for a reason. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, the arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the earth. What the hell can be shot from one end of the earth to the other? It ain't no damn bow and arrow. You ain't nobody in the world that you know that's about that motherfucking China, and he could shoot a bow from China, shoot an arrow from China to the U.S. It's not gonna happen. Come on now, it's not going. This ain't Marvel. This ain't the Avengers. right? This ain't DC. You ain't got no Superman guiding a damn arrow somewhere, right? This ain't boys, right? You ain't got you ain't got superpowered motherfuckers in this earth, right? So how would a missile get from one continent to the other one? It's called an ICBM missile, an intercontinental ballistic missile. You had the president of North Korea, Kim Jong Un, was consistently talking about sending a missile to the Americas. This is how we know that this is talking about America, man. This is how we know that these prophecies is talking about America. No doubt about it. It says, behold, the plagues are sent, right? And there's many plagues that's going to come to the world. But my main focus on the plague that's going to come to the world is Jeremiah 14 and 12, which talks about the fire. That fire that's going to, matter of fact, let's get it. Jeremiah 14:12. Jeremiah 14:12. It says, Salakia, bear with me for a second. Jeremiah 14:12, is it? Right, Salakia, it ain't Jeremiah. It's Zechariah 14:12. I've been in Jeremiah so much. Zechariah 14:12. Let's get it. So it says, and this shall be the plague, and this is the only plague that I'm thinking about, wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Now, what's going to do that, man? We always talk about that movie Terminator. Sarah Connor, when she was straggling a fence. But I'm going to end it from there and say, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, double ones to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there just doing this work in truth and sincerity. I like to say Shalom.